Hey, look, girl, I ran your blood, and say your blood methylmercury is high is an understatement. You're double the highest I've ever seen.
I always wanted to make movies. I never wanted to make a movie about mercury. I didn't know we needed one.
No doubt about it, something ain't right when it's a struggle just to live my life.
Are you exhausted, unable to focus, inefficient? Do you suffer from brain fog, forgetfulness? Have you or someone you know come down with an unexplainable neurological disorder that has not been effectively controlled with medication? If so, you may be suffering from mercury toxicity. Those silver-colored amalgam fillings we have all had as children are 50% mercury. Mercury is a known reproductive neurotoxin under Prop 65 in the state of California. The periodic table of elements in basic chemistry show mercury to be the second most toxic material on the planet. Despite the piles of research presented to the California Dental Association and the American Dental Association, they still claim it is safe to put mercury in our children's mouths. Why? Because they have done so for the past 170 years.
The subtleties have caused all the controversy. If it actually poisoned us and killed us within 5 minutes, there'd be no argument about it.
I am in a position to know that Chiso used mercury and dumped some into the sea. I was responsible for analyzing the rate of mercury concentration. At the time, I did not have the courage to speak. To speak meant to lose my job. My conscience bothered me some, of course, but I kept silent until a few years ago. The victims already have a long history of struggle. At first, they don't know what is killing them. Then Chiso is identified as the source of contamination, but it persistently denies responsibility. On the shores of the Shiranui Sea, the Chiso chemical plant has been dumping inorganic mercury into an inland sea with no more outlets than a lake. The methyl mercury contained in the water invades the fish through its skin and gills. A high concentration is rapidly reached. Why did you not acknowledge your responsibility earlier? Our sea would have remained clean. There would be fewer victims. How many more will there be? Give me back my children. Give me back my health.
Where is the mercury? In your mouth. Where is the mercury?
In your mouth.
Where is the mercury?
In your mouth.
Where is the mercury?
In your mouth.
Where is the mercury?
In your mouth. No more mercury.
Why haven't dentists wanted to speak out about mercury?
Well, I think that the problem was that when we went to dental school, we were told, and most of us believed, that mercury didn't come off of the fillings, so that there really wasn't a concern. The Academy has funded enough research now over the years to show that not only does it come off the fillings, but it builds up in the body over a period of time and causes pathophysiology. So now that the science has documented that, it's kind of irrefutable. I think the problem has been that organized dentistry has looked at that research and tried to put a spin on it that would make practicing dentists think that there really isn't a problem. So I think the problem isn't with the practicing dentists. I think they're doing what they think is right, but I think they're being misinformed from the leadership, and so that most of them are not aware that there's a problem.
What I'm having a struggle with is why would people who are dentists, obviously in a healing art, defend something in the 21st century if they thought that it should have been gotten rid of because it's dangerous?
I think that basically they're in denial. They have been trained in the techniques surrounding amalgam and mercury, apparently for 150 years. They feel very comfortable conducting their practice the way they've been trained to. No one, including myself, believes that a switch to other substances would be easy. nor inexpensive. It will be something that the dental profession will have to apply themselves to. But I would point out that their own evidence here says that these fillings do produce mercury vapor in the mouth. And what they want us to, I just want to finish my answer, what they want us to believe, and what they probably believe, in all honesty, is that it's such a small amount that it doesn't matter. But if one filling puts a little bit of mercury vapor in your mouth, 6 or 8 or 10 are going to put more mercury in your mouth. And what they're asking the public to do is accept that gamble. Now, I think that some people out there undoubtedly are more sensitive to mercury than others. And you cannot, I think, in good conscience, make a across-the-board statement that no one can be harmed by the mercury vapor that they have admitted comes from this film.
The American Dental Association has a gag rule which says to dentists, if you suggest the removal of the amalgam fillings, or basically if you start talking about the health effects of mercury, going in, coming out, whatever of the mouth, you are subject to discipline. Dentists have lost their licenses around the country for speaking out on mercury.
You know how in school we made fun of the medieval medicine? And we made fun of the humors and bloodletting and the medieval barber surgeons? In 50 or 100 years, when people realize what 20th century and 21st century conventional medicine has done, the pain and suffering it's caused, driven by ignorance and greed, those medieval barber surgeons will seem like Nobel laureates in comparison.
It's a shame that the public has to bring the dental board up to date on the available scientific literature. You can spend 15 minutes and find all of this information yourself. We put mercury fillings in sheep. Dentists protested, sheep chew too much. We put mercury fillings in monkeys, fed twice a day, soft diets. What's the problem with that? Equal levels in the kidneys of all 3 of those experimental animals.
It's like poisonous and it can kill and stuff.
When you ask them how much mercury comes out of an amalgam filling, first answer was just a little bit. And I said,
what's a little bit?
That's not a scientific term. Scientists talk about micrograms per day, micrograms per centimeter squared, so much per amalgam. How much comes out? He said an insignificantly small amount. See, now those are the weasel words, because an insignificantly small amount of cyanide will kill you. But a very, very small amount of mercury, 365 days a year, every hour of the day, every minute of the day, can cause you problems when you get older.
I would like to preface it with one simple statement, which is that dental amalgam is a safe material.
The U.S. Public Health Service and the World Health Organization have all said that dental amalgam is a safe restorative material.
So there's no danger from your point of view for it breaking down?
In quantities that would cause a problem.
So it would not in large enough quantities?
There can, and we've never said that there is no release of mercury. There is a minute release of mercury from a filling, but never in quantities that could be.
So what your view is not that there's no release. You agree there is. But you're saying that the amount that is released is so small as to not hold any health risks.
That's what the science shows.
Okay. And is that the same if you're a small person with a smaller body as with a large person as an adult versus a child?
That's so far what the evidence appears to be.
Does it matter how many fillings you have? Is there a critical point at which you've got every tooth filled? And
the studies have shown a lot of them are based on a lot of fillings. They have looked at that and ensured that if somebody has a substantial number of fillings, that even then the quantity that's coming out in the mercury vapor is not dangerous. The quantity that's coming out in the mercury vapor is not dangerous.
It doesn't leach. It absolutely does not leach. And as proof of that, we've had billions of teeth saved because of this technique.
Just look them in the eye and tell your big fat lie. It's hard to figure